Hi everyone, and welcome to another model railway review video from Class 47 Peter, and it's here. I am very excited about this one because today we're going to be having a look at the eagerly awaited Bachmann H2 Atlantic. This particular model I have is number 2421 South Foreland in the absolutely gorgeous Maunsell olive green livery. Now these models, they announced them, was it in 2012, 2013 that they first announced these? I can't quite remember, it's been so long. So they have been a long time coming, but the wait has most definitely been worth it. Because last year when I went to Worley, I saw these on display, the decoration samples. I also saw them on display at the GCR model event earlier this year, and they looked stunning. I've also seen them in the photos as well, and they do indeed look stunning. And since these have been announced, I've been excited for these. I was very excited when I saw the decoration samples on display at those events in question, and now they've been released. Mine has just literally turned up in the post as I'm filming this video, and this particular model came from Kernow Model Rail Centre, and I've had this model, I had this pre-ordered a month ago. But anyway, let's get on with the video. So we'll start with the unboxing. So this is the usual packaging that we see now from Bachmann. Turn onto the back, we have the brief history of the H2 Atlantic. You can pause and read that if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. And there's the model itself. I mean, just look at that. Then we take away the empty tray, and here we have the manual for the model. So it talks to you about the accessories and where to fit them, as you can see in the diagrams there, so that'll be quite useful later on. On the back you've got the Collectors Club leaflet and the warranty service request. Inside it talks to you about, again, fitting the accessories, running the model in, lubrication, where to put the oil, as well as taking the body off. Fitting a DCC decoder and DCC sound. So it's all the stuff that we've seen before, so I'll put that to one side. Then we take off the outer sleeve, and we have some detail packs in here, so we'll have a look at these first before we have a look at the model. So in the first sealed bag of detail parts we have some cabin tender doors, the speaker mount and screws, if you want to fit DCC sound to the model, that is, some guard irons, some Southern Region head coat discs, some vacuum pipes, some screw link couplings, and some other bits of details, including some lamps. And in the other sealed bag we get some etched nameplates and some etched builder's plates. So with the accessories covered, we can now finish off the unboxing. So once we've undone the box, we then lift the beaut out of the packaging, and I can see this being a little bit tricky because of all the detail on her. I can lift the tender. There we go. I've had to do it like that because I don't want to damage any of the detail on this model. Right, so with the model now unboxed, we can now move on to the detail of the model. Now first of all, I'm going to talk about what I always do in these reviews, how heavy the model is. This model is really heavy, so there's a lot of weight in this model, which is good because there's enough weight in here for this model to be able to pull a train. Because without the weight, then it won't be able to pull any trains at all, so the weight is really important in these models. Now we move on to the detail, which we have metal buffers. They're not sprung, but I don't really have much care for sprung buffers, but they're made out of metal, which is nice, and they're painted silver, which do look really glamorous on this model, I have to say. We have a NEM tension lock coupling there on the front of the loco, which I will take out. I'll only put it in if I choose to double head this loco with other locomotives. We have rivets on the buffer beam, as well as the locomotive's running number, 2421, crisply printed there, and I do love the style of the numerals there. We have lamp irons on the running board, as you can see. On the smokebox door, we have a separately fitted lamp iron there on the top, as you can see, a separately fitted metal handrail, and separately fitted smokebox door darts. And the hinges and the handrail and the smokebox door darts are painted in a chrome colour, which looks stunning on this model. We have a very nice chimney, so you could fit a smoke generator unit in there if you wanted to. Lots of rivets on the smoke box there, and some steam heating piping just here. Excuse my giant finger. Lots of rivets on the running board there, as you can see, and some steps just there on either side. And I love the textile feature on them. We have some separately fitted metal handrails running down alongside the boiler there, and up across the smoke box there on the sides, as well as some separately fitted steam heating piping running on top of the handrail there, as you can see. We have a very nice dome in the middle of the boiler. We have the safety valves and the whistle on top of the cab, which is painted in a very nice brass colour, I do believe it's supposed to be. We have some glazing in the cab windows. Some very nice rivet detail on the cylinders there, and there's even some rivets on the bogie frames there. Oh, there's a little insect there on the workbench, you can just see it there. We have a footstep in the middle of the two drive wheels there, with some nice rivet detail on them. And just look at the side rods, the slide bars and the valve gear. I just can't wait to see all that moving like you do on the real thing. We have some visible daylight under the boiler. And under the boiler you can see where they've replicated the inside moving valve gear and moving parts, which doesn't move on the model, but it's there anyway. It really does add to the detail. We have a separately fitted small metal handrail in between the two wheel arches there on the running board. We of course have the wheel arches with some very nice detail on top of them, which I believe might be lubricator boxes, I think, though I could be wrong, but they look really nice. We also have the rear pony truck under the cab with the axle boxes and the springs there, and some nice rivet detail. On the cab sides we have separately fitted metal handrails, as well as the builder's plate there, crisply printed. Moving on to the cab roof, which isn't particularly interesting to look at, but there's quite a lot of rivet detail on it. And that brings us on to the cab interior. I mean, just look at that. The inside of the cab is painted cream, but look at all the detail there on the firebox, the gauges, the dials, the regulator and the lever. It's all painted. It looks just like the real thing, and it really does add to the detail, that does. Now we move on to the tender, which there is quite a bit of weight in the tender as well, it has to be said. Not as heavy as the loco, obviously, but there is still quite a bit of weight in it. On the tender frames we have the axle boxes and springs and some rivet detail, and you can see the brake rods there just underneath the wheels, under the frames, which have already been fitted on this model. On the faceplate of the tender we have some very nice detail. You've got the handle there, or the handbrake, whichever you choose to call it, and some storage cabinets to put things in, and the little chute there for the driver to put his shovel in to get some coal out and put into the fire hole. Oh, and speaking of the fire hole door, I very nearly forgot to mention this, but look, it opens just like on the C1 Atlantic, and that really is a nice little feature to have on this model, it really is. On the front of the tender we have some footsteps on either side with some nice rivet detail on them. Separately fitted handrails on front of the tender. Rivet detail on the tender sides. We also have a separately fitted coal rail there on top of the tender. We have some rivets on top of the tender there on the tank, as well as the water filler cap, which doesn't open, but it doesn't really need to, if I'm honest, but it's there and it looks nice all the same. On the rear of the tender we have a NEM tensional coupling, metal buffers that aren't sprung but painted silver. There's already a vacuum pipe already added, and some separately fitted lamp irons, and the locomotive's running number 2421 crisply printed on the back of the tender. Now we come on to the livery application, and it really is stunning. There's no errors in the paint, it's a very nice even coat with the correct shade of green, and I just love the white lining. I especially love the livery, the green, on the running plate there with the white lining, and also the green paint on the pony truck there with the white lining. This really is a gorgeous livery, and that's why I wanted this particular model, because the green, it really is a beautiful livery. And on the tender sides we have Southern crisply printed on the sides there above the number, and the correct style of font as well, and the loco's running number 2421 just underneath Southern, and the correct style of numerals as well there. Moving on to the other side of the loco, there isn't really any much detailed differences, but what we do have is that we don't have the steam pipe in there that runs on top of the boiler above the handrail, nor the steam piping on top on here on the smoke box like it is on the other side. But we do have this bit of detail there, which is some sort of pipe work going down alongside the boiler and on the firebox. But apart from that though, the rest of the detail is the same. Now we come on to the running performance of the H2 Atlantic, and as you can see, straight from the box, she's a smooth runner. There's no motors burning out, grinding noises or stuttering movement. She runs exactly as she should, straight from the box. Just look at how elegant this locomotive looks. Now we come on to the loaded test run for the H2 Atlantic, and she's pulling the rake of Southern Region coaches round the layout. See the PMV there at the back? That's the Bachmann one, and that's a new one to my fleece. But as you can see here, she's got no struggle here at all. You see folks, this is why the weight is so important. So it's a bit of a struggle there, but she did it. Well, she certainly looks majestic pulling the Southern Region coaches, doesn't she? But then again, she's a Southern Region loco, so all Southern Region locos look majestic pulling these coaches. But anyway, that brings us on to our conclusion. And overall, the Bachmann H2 Atlantic is an amazing model. It really is. What this model is a work of art. It really is. I mean, the stunning detail on this model, the gorgeous livery, its performance and its strength, you know, all credit to Bachmann. It's been a long time coming, but I think we can all agree that the wait for this model, which must be about 5 years or so now, has definitely been worth it. And I can't wait to get the H1 Atlantic, hopefully, in the LBSC Umber livery, to go with this one, which that will be quite interesting. But anyway, that brings us on to the score. So overall then, well, you all know what it's going to be. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. Easily. This has been Class 47 Peter reviewing the absolutely amazing Bachmann H2 Atlantic in the Maunsell Olive Green livery, and I'll see you again soon for the next video. I don't know what it will be. That'll be something for you to tune in for, but until then, subscribe to the channel, check out our other videos, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.